Okay, friends, welcome to this course again. Today we are going to look at in this video, we are going to look at a live example. We are going to go through a passage, then we are going to critically examine that passage, and then we are going to mm, go ahead and uh, uh, watch and understand what kind of various comprehension questions can be there. Right. One is Vishal Arora, and I've been teaching verbal for the competitive examination for the last 12 years. I am IELTS, TOEIC, and TFA certified trainer, and I'm the writer of a novel Mad Dog Words, which is available on all major platforms. Right. This is the passage. This is the passage. Uh, I would give you 2 minutes. You just try to read this passage. This passage is about a boy who has gone to a rehabilitation school. Right. So okay, this is the passage, and this is the passage again. And now we are going to look at this passage from how do you understand this passage and what do you mark as important. Okay, so let's see. Let's start with this. So I was reluctant to go there on that first day. Okay, so the passage starts with the author being reluctant. With the author being reluctant. With the author being reluctant. Okay, and he is reluctant to go there on the first day. This is the first day. Okay. As I waited outside, so we have to remember that he is reluctant and this is the first day. And as I waited outside the director's office, my anxiety only increased. The legs felt like lead. There was a rehabilitation residence for mentally and physically ill people. So he is at a rehabilitation center for mentally and physically ill people. My dad, a doctor, so you come to realize and you get the information that his dad is a doctor, had insisted on my volunteering at the residence. So he is volunteering. Nobody is forcing him to do that, right? He wanted my high school community service requirement to be filled in a productive way. He is volunteering because he wants to fill his high school community service requirement. I felt the same. The previous summer, I had gardened and picked up trash activities that didn't seem really to make the meaningful difference that I thought I wanted to make. So he wants to make a meaningful difference. This you come to know. Still, I was scared, imagining what the realities of the working at the residence would be. The director was brief. The director was brief. She told me about the need for a established emotional connection with the residents, then rushed to introduce me to a group of 15. So this is again a fact-based thing that there's a group of 15. The ages ranging from 8 to 12, 21 that I was asked to supervise. My charges were well. My charges welcomed me graciously. Some tried to clap but couldn't bring both hands together. Some tried to say hello, but their speech was so impaired that I really only guessed at what they said. Most conspicuous among them was young L. He was older than I, and he was older than I, and he was the only one who spoke clearly enough for me to understand fully. So young L is there. He's older than him, and he's the only one who can speak clearly. Young had the face of 30-year-old, but he was barely 4 feet tall. He took me in charge of the charge at first, and stumbling as he walked, showed me around and taught me the basics of the residence routine. So young taught him the basics of the residence routine. I was embarrassed when he told me what to do. To be frank, I felt as if I was being instructed by a child. Later, thinking back on my condensation towards a kind, intelligent man, I felt a much deeper embarrassment. Right. So you need to understand the meaning of condensation. Right, because unless and until you understand the meaning of condensation, you would not understand this. Right. So this is what it is, right? So this is what information we have got from this. Let's see what information we get from the other part. The youngest was Sungmin. He was 8 years old, only 3 feet tall, and his fingers were all odd shapes and sizes. A teacher told me that Sungmin's fingers used to be fused, but he had recently had an operation. Sungmin now had five discrete digits on each hand. but the irregular forms still made it very hard for him to grasp things, right? So Sungmin के बारे में बताया गया है, and he is telling about Sungmin, right? So in spite of this physical struggles, Sungmin was the biggest and the most energetic person at the residence. On my second day at work, he was the first to greet me, something I was grateful for since not all the residents remembered my face, right? So he was the first to greet him on the second day. Helping at lunch was most difficult task. So the most difficult task is helping at lunch. It required considerable patience. Some residents had trouble focusing on eating and would often start shaking their heads violently as I tried to feed them. But whatever the physical challenges and discomforts were, and however unappealing the food was, none of the residents ever complained. I couldn't help contrasting the residents' behavior with mine. I was again embarrassed to think about my regular pickiness, my refusal to eat this or that at all, my demand for particular foods, and began to hope that the road to wisdom was paved with such small embarrassments. Right? So, the author is contrasting the behavior of the resident with his behavior, and he is saying that maybe he will get much more wiser by working here. Right? This is what he is thinking. Right? And after my lunch at the residence, the teacher took over the group. Everyone in the room said goodbye in his own way. And Sungmin, the little guy with mismatched fingers, accompanied me to the door and hugged my knees. I walked home, my legs much more lighter than had been that morning. Right. Uh, my fears and worries had disappeared, and in the place, the surprising beginning of an emotional connection that I thought was beyond me. I was looking forward to seeing the students again, to helping them. I hoped and again having them help me. Right. So the last paragraph, you come to realize that the author has wizened. Right. The author has first of all got an emotional connection with the people of that with the students there, and he was looking forward to meeting them again. And he is saying that I will help them, and in turn they are helping me by making me grow much more wiser, much more intelligent. Right. This is what he's saying. Right. This is what we come to understand from the text. This is what we come to understand from the text. Now we will look at various types of comprehension which can come from this text. Okay, we'll see that. We'll see in the next video. Right.